Welcome to the number one Bengals Podcast,
AFC champion podcast of the
I am your
AFC
host,
champion
Eddie McDuke.
Bengals.
As always, by Dr. Hoji, the Electric Smoji, and John Harry Connick Jr. Sheeran.
Oh yeah,
Classic.
taking it downtown to New Orleans.
And we have a very special show today because we want to talk about Mike Brown's statements. He came out and he said, look, a lot of people aren't taking this team for real. And he's right. They're
He
already
is right.
laughing at the odds of the Bengals going back to the Super Bowl, saying, you know, who would waste money on that. They are already saying a lot of nasty things about Joe Burrow and the team getting lucky. And he came out, he said, look, we have a great team. We're going to add to it. And he said he's tough. Joe Burrow is as tough as nails. And we're going to support him. And by that, he doesn't mean we're going to continue to get him hammered. Because that, you know, that's not what he means.
No,
He means he's tough as nails. We are going to...
he's as tough as the nails on your fingers.
Right. So you have to polish them, keep them
Yeah.
beautiful.
Right, get a mani-pedi as I do every Thursday.
Yes. Now, we have, of course, this show is streaming on Brinkstar TV.
Hold on a
And-
second.
Yeah. Yes.
Do
Yeah.
we have a guest? Like who's in the
Yeah,
bottom
like,
left
have you
corner?
noticed, Daddy, there's someone else here? I mean,
I don't think you introduced her at all.
Oh, that's right. Okay, so long story short, corporate had some issues with some of the fake news that OG was perpetrating and John, some of the analytics sides of, and so they asked that we bring in this HR representative, and she's on the show, and obviously learning people's names is one of those obvious things that you have to do, and so that's why I know that her name is Brittany. Sorry, what was it again?
Daddy, you know why corporate asked me to be here. You know my name is Bridget Jankars.
Bridget, yes.
I'm in your inbox all the time.
Right.
You know this.
You
That's
thought
right.
she was here for us?
yeah.
Well, Bridget, I mean, first of
Bridget,
all,
let's
can
be
I just
honest,
say-
Bridget. He has been pushing the boundaries of moral and acceptable behavior now for about 30 plus years. We should have had you on the show earlier. Basically, viewer, I didn't want to say anything, but I knew what was going on. Bridget is here to monitor a man who is corrupt in every way, Daddy-o.
Right.
And Bridget, maybe a taste of what Daddy-o, what the problems in HR are with Daddy-o. I'd love to know. I think the viewer deserves to know.
So this is HR. OJ, we aren't going to be overly vocal and transparent, but
Okay.
the unpaid interns, that's a bit of
Right.
a problem.
Who are
Great
children, child labor, sweatshops
The-
with real sweat.
Hold on,
real
hold on.
sweat.
I just want to say-
true
I just want to
sweatshops.
say-
We're talking
hold
about
on.
rooms that have no heating and no circulation, and there are children working in them. That is a sweatshop.
So I just want to say, so Anik, you're talking about child labor. We had Anik on the show last week. He, in his application, he wrote that he was 18. I later realized it was a 1 + 8. He's 9 years old. But that was his fault. There was no way I could have known how young he was. But Bridget, one thing you taught me, we talked about is complimenting
Libel.
people. So
Bridget, is this libel on the list? We know it is.
libel, slander. These are things the lawyers are working on. We're not going to talk about it. We're not creating more fodder, but Daddy-o, I'm watching. I'll be here all show. So
right.
eyes on.
Yes. So I just want to say I want to pay you a compliment, and this isn't a sort of bribe or anything. But Bridget is a lovely name, and I looked it up, and I think it means like a short bridge, or sorry, a vertically challenged bridge. Is that correct?
No.
You thought it was Brittany.
Well,
Yeah.
but now
He's saying a bridgette, like a female bridge. No, it's
like
not Bridget.
you have like a midget, and then you have a Bridget. Is
No.
that No.
Man, he is
Okay.
killing it.
Well, we don't say that word.
That's right. Yeah. They forced me to say
noted.
it because they didn't get the joke. Okay, look. Guys, Bridget, I want to talk about Courtney asked us to talk about Brinkstar TV, where you can see this
Brinkstar TV.
stream. And as always, we are sharing the names of the new shows on Brinkstar TV. And the latest one is actually hosted by, you heard about this probably. Michelle Tafoya left NBC Sports to join Brinkstar TV for her new show called, get this, Colorblind. And what it is about is she goes around and she talks to dogs about their approach to civilization and their education system. And she wants to learn. She wants to have a sincere heart-to-heart with them. It's called Colorblind. Very, very popular show on Brinkstar TV. But also, we ask
He
everybody
makes
to...
these up.
Oh, this was
Yeah, these
so
are made up.
dogs. Those aren't just Browns fans, I'm going to assume, but
I thought you told me that animal abuse was wrong, and so I was trying to go in the other direction. So I was trying to praise the animals and give them a voice. But it's okay. We can move on. Don't forget, by the way, to like, subscribe, turn on notifications for our show.
Alerts. Get alerted. And write stuff in the comments. I'll tell you.
I don't know what Bridget is writing. I don't think there's anything of substance to write.
I'm just prepared for when Michelle Tafoya's people
can I
call
make it-
us
can I
about
make
the
it-
dog podcast.
Yeah. Can I make an HR complaint in the moment, sort of ad hoc? That book behind Daddy-O's head is triggering for me. The Rush Limbaugh book.
Well, actually, that's interesting because that is where I learned about animal rights. And fun fact, Bridget, did you know that animals don't have rights? Because rights are the result of a social contract, and animals can't enter into a social contract, and they don't respect anybody else's rights. So
We
they're
are
actually,
working
it's
on
very-
animal rights. It's animal welfare at the moment.
I read that in that book that you see behind me. Very interesting. Okay, let us move on to the front office's new attitude, because Bridget was at the rally after the Super Bowl.
It was not a rally. It was a
She was
parade.
She was
Rallies
rubbing
are for
elbows.
fascists. Parades are for fans.
Okay, but she was rubbing elbows with the big shots, right? She was asking them to come on the show, asking them for donations, and also, she was giving them a lot of different kind of advice. She talked to Zach Taylor. She told him what she would have done differently in the Super Bowl, and so you, Bridget, up close and personal, you have an idea of what this front office is like and the direction they're headed in. So tell us about that.
Well, I appreciate the vote of confidence. I don't think my proximity to the front office is maybe quite that extreme, but I was at the rally and I did get a chance to go behind the scenes, and I did get to talk to Zach Taylor, and I was most excited. I got to talk to Brian Callahan and Lou Anarumo, who I think are two unsung heroes of the team this year. And we know this, right? The vibe is just different, and that front office new attitude is something that I think the city is bringing. So that loser mentality that, people
In
are
Cleveland?
Cleveland,
Yeah.
Pittsburgh, other places who are, other journalists talking about like, why is Cincinnati celebrating, getting second place in the Super Bowl? I think what we're seeing is a city that's really rallying around a team that's bringing a lot of joy and solidarity to a place. It's been a hard 2 years. We all needed a little something to celebrate. And so what I saw at this rally was a community. I know a lot of folks are from Cincinnati. A lot of folks came from other places that's really well positioned to cheer for a team that's ready to not just celebrate the fact that we got second place, which is incredible, and won Super Bowl, but ready to get back there a bunch more times in the next 10 or 15 years.
Yes.
First of all, I just want to say, Bridget, you mentioned rally about 3-4 times, proving my point. It was a rally. And you also mentioned unified, consolidated leadership, the city being unified. No, I love that. I love strong leaders. And I just want to say, speaking of being unified, the front office is being very aggressive. I saw on One America News Network, they have a senior NFL reporter, insider.
Oh my gosh.
And he talked about how we're basically the deal for Quentin Nelson is almost done.
John.
We're going to trade for Quentin Nelson.
Yeah, can you
Shut
verify
this
this,
down,
man?
John. This is
He's
a fake tweet.
These people, hold on. They have
That's not news,
They have
man.
reporters in the White House. And Bridget can tell you
Still?
it's not easy to get into the White
Yeah,
House.
they had in the old White House.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
this is a right-wing media outlet that's not really well loved. I mean, you can't go on that tweet.
Why would the
and make
Bengals trade a
tweet.
starting wide receiver for a left guard?
He
Yeah, it
didn't
doesn't
say
make
who they
any
were
sense.
trading, did he?
That's exactly
said-
what he said.
Oh,
Yeah,
he
he
did.
did.
Okay.
Backed up by 0 sources and maybe 100 followers.
Yeah, so John, what is the real news on the Bengals? I mean, like, what do we know right now?
We know nothing because nothing's happening. Nothing will happen for weeks.
Why
This
not?
This is the dead period. They can't legally tamper with any of this stuff. They can't talk to free agents. They can talk to other teams under the table. None of that is
We
officially
cannot.
official. Nor do the Bengals usually make these trades. Just
Yeah, is that
only-
going to change? I saw a tweet by you, and you were implying that nothing really will change because they won by not changing. What do you think?
What I think
No,
is
John.
that,
What John? Hold on, John's point. and we
Don't
talked about
speak
this
on
before.
John's behalf. John can speak. HR.
No, I'm actually curious what he actually has to say here.
So no, John made a good point, which was actually a point that we discussed on the show.
This is called
which is
mansplaining.
That the difference in the
He's a puppet.
free agency the past couple of years, the reason that they're spending the same amount of money that they used to spend on their own free agents, but because they haven't drafted well, because their veterans kind of fell off a cliff, they didn't have people on their own team to spend it on, so they spend it on outside free agents. Other than that, it's been the same approach that they've always had. That's what John said.
See, he is capable of not sensationalizing things. That's exactly
Okay,
right.
that's pretty good.
No, because
Yeah.
they needed to spend
I think
that
I
money.
made that point.
They couldn't spend it on their own players at that point. But the contracts and the structures of those contracts weren't anything different than what they were used to doing. So now you're talking about aggressively improving the offensive line by means that they've never done so before. There's no precedent for that. And I know
Yeah.
that the recent success embodies a lot of excitement, maybe potential change. And if that change happens, then we can talk about it. But it's not something that anyone should expect.
And I just have to say, this is modeling that good team culture. The Bengals
Thank
are
you.
known for it right here. You got to keep doing that, Daddy-O. Good work.
Yeah. Well, John
Yeah.
is our John is our right guard of the show. You know, we pay him about the same as the Bengals are willing to spend on the right guards.
If that's an analogy directly, that's kind of an insult.
Yeah.
But seriously, John, I mean, does that mean that there's a possibility that we come into the 2022-23 season with an offensive line that is only 10-15% better than what we had before?
It's possible. Like we know that there's going to be a new right guard. Like that's going to happen, and
But I mean,
they're
that's just
likely-
one piece of the puzzle.
But they're likely to sign. Like it could be beyond that. They could get a new right tackle as well. I don't think we're going to see more than like 2 new faces that are on the starting lineup, and that's still change. But it's not trading first round picks for a left tackle. It's not going out and signing the most expensive offensive lineman, which is in everyone's heads right now. It's what we want them to do because we know that that's the best way to improve it. But they've never really done either of those things like that to any position. And this is a position group that they don't typically spend a lot of money in. They're going to invest in it. They're going to put attention and resources towards it. It just may not be the resource that people think that they will.
But John, hold on.
John,
hold on. John, hold on.
You said that Bridget, John.
Bridget, I was
You
first.
said John.
Somebody say something.
John, you said that Burrow fell in their laps. That's what
Did
you
he
said.
not?
Bridget, that is inappropriate, right? You can't do that.
No, but what I mean is,
Okay, go ahead.
it was a plan, wasn't it, to tank the season and get Joe Burrow? It wasn't just
Nobody tanks. Unless there's
No,
a report
Yeah.
that Mike Brown did what Stephen Ross did and pay for losses. We can't assume that.
Look, okay. John, I want to talk about the new linebackers coach. Okay? Because the linebackers played outstanding over the, let's say, the later part of the year. And in the Super Bowl,
So
I think
what's
some
this
people said-
subtitle mean? James better than Golden?
Yeah, Golden. Well, I mean, again,
I don't
we
get
have-
it. I know there's something weird
We have an
going on.
18-year-old writing these, so it's.
Yeah.
But basically, the new linebacker coach is James Betcher or Bet-Sher. I think it's Sher. And the previous one was Al Golden, right, John? And so this guy comes from
Better.
San Francisco, and
Yeah.
they say he might be an upgrade, John.
John?
Maybe.
Upgrade? John?
Al Golden was a very experienced coach, and now he's a defensive coordinator for a major college program. So there's obvious praise for him in just the coaching community and whatnot. Betcher worked
Exciting.
with Lou Anarumo when he was with the Giants. He was the defensive coordinator for the Giants when Anarumo was there. Took a year off coaching in 2020. Then he was, I think, a senior defensive assistant for the 49ers. So he's been around. He has experience running a defense, and I think that position, specifically the linebackers coach, I think Al Golden has been in charge of conjuring up pressure packages for the defense. So if Betcher is to take Al Golden's responsibilities, I think he's qualified to do so. And also, Al Golden did a lot of work with Jermaine Pratt, Logan Wilson to improve them to where they are now. So he comes in to a better looking linebacking group than what Al Golden had to work with. And now I think Betcher's job can be easier with that said.
Yeah. Okay.
That's a good
Well,
analysis.
Well, I want to go back, actually, real quick. I want to mention something to John that Hoji kept cutting me off, and I didn't get around to. John, what I want to say is, I know that that's traditionally not the Bengals' path, spending a lot on offensive line. But when you look at Burrow's window, we have, 3 more years or something of the rookie contract, and then you're going to have to pay him, and we have the $60 million, and you only have to pay Jesse Bates the big money right now. What if they front load, get 2 big deals, you front load it 2 years or so?
What are big deals? What are 2 big deals to you?
Above $15 million a year for a.
Not going to happen. It's not
Why
going to
not?
happen.
Why not, John? We got the money. We're a Super Bowl team now.
I'm
They
saying
had the money the last 2 years, and they could have done it, but they
but Mike
decided to
Brown
invest in
came
other
out.
positions that they value more.
Yeah, but Mike Brown, for the first time ever.
But we
came
learned
out
our
and said-
lesson. We would have won the Super Bowl with a better offensive line. That was the missing
Look,
piece.
here is the factor that bodes well for this. They have no other positions where they desperately need attention and investment in. They really needed offensive line help the last 2 years, but they also needed to rebuild the defense. They needed that guy like Jamar Chase to spend a first round pick on. They're
now they
good
don't.
defensively. They're basically set
Very
there.
good.
They're pretty much set everywhere else on offense. Money is going to go to the offensive line. It's
Yeah.
just not going to be top tier
Second
money.
tier, yeah.
But I want top tier, John.
Yeah,
It's not going to
I
happen,
think
man. How many times do I got to explain it?
But John, would you look before 2 years ago? Would you ever thought we'd give DJ Reader or Trey Hendrickson top tier money? No, we didn't give anybody top tier money until.
Let me ask you guys an honest question, okay? And I hate to hurt anybody's feelings. Jonah Williams.
Yeah, Bridget's right there looking at
Jonah
you.
Williams.
Get them, Bridget. Yeah, go ahead.
Jonah Williams was a high draft pick. Is he cutting the mustard?
Yeah, he's fine. He's okay.
He's fine,
Is
but-
he fine?
but
But,
hold on,
is
hold
he
on. Wait,
really
Daddy, I
fine?
want- Daddy, I
Based
wanna
it on the
answer your
Super Bowl
question.
game. Basing it on the Super Bowl. Yeah, John.
The Bengals extended both Geno Atkins and Carlos Dunlap to big deals. They played defensive line positions. That is a position group that historically they've been fine to spend at. They've been willing to do so. That's what they gave DJ Reader. That deal that DJ Reader signed, they've paid a defensive tackle like that before. They've paid cornerbacks before. That's why we saw Trey Waynes, Mike Hilton, Chidobe Awuzie. Von Bell gets a deal that's similar to what George Iloka signed. These deals at those positions,
They've paid
we've known
tackles,
them to do
their own
this.
tackles. When they have good tackles, they pay.
When was
them.
the last time? Whitworth?
Yeah, a few years ago.
but they-
It wasn't
that's
that.
what-
It wasn't that big of a deal, honestly.
That's
He
true.
wasn't getting anywhere close to the market value.
But
at
they
that
do
time.
value tackles. They will
They
draft
value tackles, sure.
Yeah.
But in order to get one of these top tier tackles, like a Taron Armstead, that requires a deal that they've never even.
No,
come
I don't
close
think they
to.
get the Taron Armstead. No,
That's a tier 1 guy, though. That's what Hoji
Yeah.
wants.
I think Taron Armstead gets more than
want
15
Taron
million.
Armstead.
I think Taron Armstead get more than 15 million a year.
Give
I'm
him
saying
40.
right below that. I'm
Give
saying
him
like tier
40
one and a
million.
half.
Robert Downey Jr. got $60 million for 36 minutes on playing Infinity War. 36 minutes.
But Robert Downey Jr. only got $600,000 for the first Iron Man. Marvel saw a value with Robert Downey Jr. and then they saw an increase in value. That's what the Bengals
but
like to do.
Armstead's got
They
that.
like to buy low.
Armstead is the Robert Downey Jr. of the NFL. He's
Robert
the
Downey Jr.
Iron
had
Man.
a lot
He's
of
the Iron Curtain. He's
substance
the
abuse
Iron
problems.
Curtain.
Yeah.
Don't
Okay.
we all? Speaking
I
of
know-
substances, Daddy,
yeah. Yes.
do you take a multivitamin? Because I tell you what, tons of people take multivitamins. but
Well,
it's important to choose one.
I would say the honey mustard pretzels that I have are exploding with
No.
flavor. They probably have all the vitamins. But go
No,
ahead.
they don't. Because what you need is there's a lot of people that take a multivitamin. It's important to choose one that is top quality. With one delicious scoop of athletic greens, you're absorbing 75 high-quality vitamins, minerals, superfoods, probiotics, and adaptogens to start your day right. Their special blend of ingredients supports what? Gut health, your nervous system, your immune system, energy, recovery, focus, and aging. It's also lifestyle-friendly and fits a wide range of diets. I use it myself. It's the materials are made and grown in New Zealand, and it's completely natural. It's a green powder. There's only 1 gram of sugar and no chemicals or artificial anything. Okay, so reclaim your health and your immune system with convenient daily nutrition. It's just 1 scoop in a cup of water every day. I do it every day. I do it with my turmeric and pepper, and that's it. To make it easy, Athletic Greens is going to give you a free 1-year supply of immune-supporting vitamin D and 5 free travel packs with your first purchase. All you have to do is visit athleticgreens.com/believe. That's BLEAV. Again, that's athleticgreens.com/believe. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Athletic Greens, take ownership of your health.
Wow. Well, I would say this. I would take those, but
I just have
As
to say,
Bridget-
I'm pleased to see where the substance use conversation went. You had me
that's my
worried,
substance
and
of
it
choice.
went in the right direction.
Thank you. Yes.
Well, I would say-
I do a little bit of the green stuff every day. I sniff it, I snort it, I drink it, and it's all effective.
Okay,
Bridget?
well, okay.
Bridget, I
It's
don't
organic
use
from
those.
New Zealand.
Hold on. I don't use those because they're made in New Zealand, and that means, which is a third world country, which means
it's not.
it is a sweatshop. But
is
what I
not.
do use from New Zealand is I watch all of their TV shows.
Daddy-o.
Using Nord, it sounds like a third world country. I don't know where it is. But what I do is I use NordVPN to watch New Zealand shows for free. And I can access all this kind of stuff.
That's illegal.
And, I can hack into people's computers. I never get hacked. You use NordVPN. It's the fastest VPN. And you can get 70% off when you go to nordvpn.com/believe, BLEAV. You also get, Bridget, 1 month free trial period and a 30-day money-back guarantee. You put that together, it's like you're paying for 3 months, is what it is. And it is fantastic. You can access stuff from 59 countries. You can be secure. Look, you're sharing like secret recipes at the airports, and you don't want people to know about your spices and the other stuff that you use. You just turn this VPN and be safe. So I just want to share that with Bridget.
That sounds very fishy. That's very fishy behavior.
I think Courtney might have to set up a meeting one-on-one with Daddy-o and I on just some language we're using in the workplace. And
I was really excited that I thought Hoji was taking all the ad reads, and then that excitement dwindled away. He
would not. Anything that is good for your health, they will not let Daddy-o touch. He is basically a miracle of nature, Daddy-o, that he's still alive, considering what he consumes.
Well, I share that with former Bengals great Chad Johnson and a very powerful, successful man whose name I shall not mention now. But look,
Please do
I want to go
not.
on to the new cornerback coach, John. And
Charles, I guess that Burks?
yes,
I
because
guess
we don't
that
know who he
works.
is, but he is the new cornerbacks coach. And John is still, he's looking him up right now.
Of all
Johnny
the puns, that was the most insulting, probably. It's like his name is good enough.
I'm telling you, this Annie kid, we need to talk
He's
to
a
him
tough
again.
kid, yeah.
He said he was going to put more positive spin on it, but yeah. John.
Yeah, he's 34. He's spent about 10 years working at the college ranks. He has an Oklahoma and Texas background, so Zach Taylor's familiar with that. He has been recently with the Miami Dolphins. He was the cornerbacks coach for them last year. Leon Arumo started his NFL career being a defensive backs coach for the Miami Dolphins. So there's kind of a shared path to where he is now. Now he's working under Anarumo, who again has that defensive backs coach background. So anyone that he hires for this position now that we know the kind of coordinator and mind that Lou Anarumo is, I think we got to trust it. He's 34 years old. He's just getting into the NFL coaching ranks. You know, we'll see where this goes.
I am so happy
it.
Lou Anarumo is getting the credit he deserves. I was talking about that guy
I
right at
agree.
the beginning. I was saying
Hoji
he was
was.
great. I said
Hoji was praising him. I, for a long time, it turns out that I thought he was on the Incredible Hulk. He was not.
No.
But that was all I knew about Lou Anarumo. He was hired.
Lou Ferrigno.
Right.
Great actor.
So, Bridget, I don't know if you know, but we have a professor on the show. And that means that everything we say on the show is accurate. It's factually accurate.
That's
and
true.
so now I'm going to hand it over to him to predict the future. And in the form of his horoscope.
Yeah, I'd like to talk to you a bit today about goats. Mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the goatiest of them all? That's the question the NFL is asking right now. And the reason they're asking that question is because you have so many possible goats. Look at that beautiful animal staring you at the face. Nobody really knows what where the term goat comes from. People don't know. How is it that you refer to a great athlete as a goat? Well, I think I figured it out. If you look at this picture of this beautiful, vibrant creature called the goat, you'll see that its pupils are horizontal. Now, why is that? It's because the goat's frame of vision is like a 360 parameter. The goat can see all around itself. It can see the sides of its head on both sides. Can't see up and down very well, but it can see all around itself. The true goat, it seems, is the goat who can see everything, right? Is the goat who can see all around. And that's what makes Joe Burrow the goat. He's not just a man who can see the field. I know that you think I was going about the field, but I'm not. He's a man who can see the game and he can see the season. No one believed that this team would go all the way except Joe Burrow, and he made others in his team believe that. He ends the season. Now, if you look at his statistics, it might seem a bit disappointing. 70.4 completion percentage, 8.9 yards per attempt. But you want to know what I think is
fantastic.
That's fantastic, considering that basically most of the passes he was throwing, it was like as if you're in a train wreck trying to throw the ball. I mean, that's what it's like when someone's trying to basically murder you, which most defensive line, especially the ones of the Rams, were.
That's, by the way, also what it's like for me trying to host this show. Go ahead.
Yeah, and you do a pretty bad job. But when you look at Joe Burrow, the stat that really matters is one that just came out by CBS Sports, which is that the last 16 quarterbacks to lose in their Super Bowl debut never make it back. And that's how I know that Joe Burrow will. Because Joe Burrow think about it, before Joe Burrow, the Bengals had never, ever won a playoff game on the road. Joe Burrow broke that stat. Why? The third eye, right here. He has the goat eye. The third eye chakra is an eye that's in your forehead with which you can see unseen things. It's the eye of perspicacity. And Joe Burrow has the goat eye, 360, either side. He sees things we don't see. He can see how the game will unfold and what he needs to do. And he believes in the future of the Bengals, and that's why others believe in him. The only other person I think who had that kind of vision was the other GOAT, Tom Brady. And if you notice, people hate Tom Brady. They always try to put him down after a win. Why? Because they fear him. That's what they do with Joe Burrow. Look at all the Joe Burrow haters out there. Why do they hate him? Because they fear him. Because they see the GOAT. And he is the GOAT. And that's my horoscope.
That was great. I just want one clarification. You said nobody knows what GOAT stands for.
Yeah.
It's actually, I looked it up while you were talking, and it is the greatest one America truth.
Oh, no, it's not. No, it's definitely not that.
So
it's not an
is-
acronym. It's referring to GOATs. Come on, don't do your
One
Trump stuff.
America and truth. Truth is very important, especially on social media.
No.
Everybody should be pursuing the truth, telling the truth. And I think Bridget knows that more than anybody else.
I'll tell corporate we also need to up the budget for a fact checker.
Yes.
Because I'm pretty sure we all know it's greatest of all time, right?
The truth.
What do you mean?
Go.
The goat is the greatest animal of all time.
Goats are the greatest animals of all time. And that is my horoscope.
Thank you.
I've always
Now-
preferred boat.
Boats. Look, John.
But then it
You-
would be gout. Greatest animal of all time, Bridget.
Yeah, Bridget, you got to get your facts straight. Look, let us move on to along the line.
I believe it's goatiest of all time. Go ahead.
Goatiest. Now, John has done some research in person. he's talked to this future Bengal named Austin Corbett.
Oh, now this I like. Little red Corvette. I like that because I get it.
Yeah. John, tell us about him.
Austin Corbett comes via Nevada. He was a second-round pick in the 2018 NFL draft. He was drafted by the Browns when they were still really stacked at offensive line. He never really found a place there, so the Browns, thinking that he's a scrub, traded him for scraps to the Los Angeles Rams. 3 years later, Austin Corbett is a Super Bowl champion, starting right guard for the same Los Angeles Rams, and a pretty solid player, I think. He's still 26 years old, still has years of experience and starting experience left remaining in his tank, and now he's entering free agency. It's unlikely that the Rams are going to bring him back because of all the cap liabilities that they have, but I think he's a really solid player. I think he's a definite upgrade in pass protection. I think he's better in zone blocking compared to gap blocking in terms of run blocking. I think he's a very nasty blocker in itself, and that was one of the things that he told me when I interviewed him when he was down at the Senior Bowl in 2018. Courtney, if we could potentially play that clip.
So, Austin, you played outside of Nevada, and now you've played all 5 positions here. How do you think you did, and what do you think was your best position here?
Overall, I think I did pretty well. I mean, I'm pretty hard on myself, so going into film, there's some things I could have done better. But I really think I improved each and every day, and that's what you come here to do. You're going up against the best in the nation, and I really got some great movement at center and guard, and really felt successful there.
So you said you look up to Joe Bitonio, obviously the Nevada connection. What, in your opinion, makes you two similar?
Again, just that style of play, I think really when I was watching him as a true freshman, just seeing him get after guys and really look to put people on the ground, that's what it motivated me. Like, all right, this is how the game needs to be played.
Wow.
A kind heart, but a nose for nastiness in the ground game. And I think that is the exact definition of a sweetie pie. A phrase that we use a lot.
Yes,
around this,
yes, we need more sweetie pie.
We need a sweetie pies.
Yeah. Fun fact. When I was he's 26. Last time I saw my niece without the aid of a mirror is when I was 26. It's a great age to be.
Okay, look, Bridget knows that to give her a paycheck, we have to promote things. We have to sell things.
Promotion.
So, promotion.
Yeah.
Bridget, patreon.com/dhsports. We have some really special people, very fantastic people.
Could I tell you about one of them?
Well, real quick, I just want to mention them. But we have this man named Perfect, and he's a new patron. That's a robot that makes automatic payments. And we have Nick Marks, and Hoji, I think, actually knows Nick Marks personally.
I do. So the story of me and Nick Marks is an interesting story because it's about 4 or 5 years ago, we were on Shark Tank together. Have you guys ever watched the show Shark Tank? Where you bring your ideas to basically billionaires and they decide if they want to fund them. Right. And Nick helped me develop what we call the Jaggernator app. So Mick Jagger's a friend of mine. I had him record about 40 million different things in a studio, and then you could say whatever you wanted into the app, and it would make you sound like Mick Jagger. It's an amazing, amazing thing. Did the Sharks go for it? No. In the end, they were like, oh, we won't. It has the name Marks on it. No one's going to buy it because of Marks. We were like, it's not Marks with an X. It's Marks with a KS. And it's, how the capitalist guys are. But I love this guy, Nick Marks, and I still use the Jaggernator app whenever I can at parties. It impresses friends. We're going to try to put it on the App Store for iOS, Android, other devices.
Yeah. So how does it work? Like if I give you a line, you can
you can say anything you want, and then I have the hold on. Let me get my phone. Okay. I can say it.
So I speak into it, or you speak into it. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
You tell me, I'll speak into it.
Just like a random sentence. Just anything.
Yeah, I have it hooked up. So you say it now. I'm going to say it in Mick Jagger's voice. Watch.
Okay. John, I mean, what would you... how about like, I'm mentally unstable.
I feel mentally unstable.
Wow. That sounded good. That sounded a lot better.
Yeah, especially, I know you consider yourself a stable genius, Dadio. So yes. Try one more.
Okay. This one is for Bridget because I'm very aware of people's needs and differences. And so let's try this one. I've learned to be adaptable.
I've learned to be adaptable.
That is so authentic. It's got like the pauses and the hesitation.
It does the whole thing because all of it was every sentence you can imagine was spoken by Mick Jagger. It took us about 40 years with him in the studio. He said 40 million different things. It was amazing. He did that as a friend. It was a favor.
Wow.
Me and Nick Marks. Nick Marks, shout out to you. We're going to be millionaires one day, I promise, or billionaires.
Thank you, Nick Marks. And if you want to support the show, go to Nick Marks is in the Joe Burrow tier, and that means he gets a story on the show. If you want a story on the show, you go join the Joe Burrow tier. It's $9 a month. But you mentioned he's a friend. If you want to be our friends, there is.
Are we allowed to have friends, Bridget? Is that okay with HR?
It's okay, and I think it's encouraged.
There you go. So but no friendship really ever works if money is not involved.
Right.
And so
not so much that. We'll just leave friends are encouraged.
Friends are encouraged to pay you to keep your business going and thriving. And so that is why if you go to vino.app/DHSports, you can be our friend. And what I mean is you sign up, you put your phone number in there. That's Courtney's phone number. Don't call that one. But you go there,
Courtney.
And you sign up, and it's only $3 a month. You have a 1 week trial period. But once we get your credit card, it's over. So, I mean, just ignore the trial period. No, I'm just joking. No. We have a 1 week trial period, and then it's $3 a month, and we will send you text. We sent 3 texts last week, commenting on the news and different events that were going on for the Bengals. And you can reply. You can say something to either me or Hoji or John. You can share pictures, only appropriate pictures, Bridget, only tasteful things.
Anything naked must be from the animal kingdom other than human.
Yes, and that is why they don't have rights, by the way, because they don't understand clothing.
They will have rights. They have welfare.
Any sort of decency.
Please do not push me on this. This is a lifelong issue for me.
So you can do that, and you should do that. I think you should. Bridget has no problem with it, which means you're not going to be investigated for it. And with that, I want to say, lastly, that please subscribe and listen to the podcast, #1 Bengals Podcast.
Hey, and put your hopes for the offensive line in the comment section.
Right.
What do you
tell John why he's wrong and why we're going to get 2 tier 1.5 offensive linemen. And follow John's articles on cincyjungle.com. And don't forget to subscribe, turn on notifications. And we will see you next time. So long. Esfiti. Bye.